Hi guys, happy Friday. So I already apologized for my eyelashes because I don't fucking know what's going on right there. So today we are going to get into a neighbor update. I know you guys have been begging for that. But here's the thing, guys, like I feel like a lot of people are waiting for some other crazy story about my neighbor, and like it really hasn't occurred, and I'm not ever one that would come on the camera and say that something happened that didn't happen. So there really hasn't been that much to tell you guys, besides there's one thing that just was kind of like the nail in the coffin for me, where I was like, I don't like these people, and I will tell you about that. I do want to just say that ever since I did confront them, they ended up going in the yard one more time, and it was with my permission, and it was only because the contractor came to my door and asked me, and he was very polite, and he said that he only needed one day and that they would be done, and it's his job, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to interfere with his job. It's their fault, but it's his job, and he did ask me very nicely, so I had no problem letting him in the yard. But ever since I got the lock, like you guys said, there's been really no issues. We just kind of don't really like talk to them that much, and everything's been pretty good. I will say though, it was very interesting to me one night that John came home. He pulled his van up, it's pitch black outside, and he heard like a whimpering when he opened his door, and it was their dog. I think they have like a golden retriever. So he opens his door and he sees the dog, and he's like, oh, hi buddy. It's very common for them to just let their dogs outside and run around. Like, it's not really that big of a deal. We do live on a busy street, so I would never do that with Bean, because he would probably get hit by a car, but their dogs are pretty chill. They don't ever try to run away or anything. So then John didn't think it was that big of a deal, but then when John walked up to our house, the dog came with John and was like still whimpering, and I opened the door and it's John and the neighbor's dog sitting right there, and I was like, what's going on? He's like, I don't know, he's just like following me. And I was like, all right, well, obviously we're not gonna let him in the house because we have a cat. So I'm like, okay, well, you know, if maybe they just let him outside, and if he doesn't, like, if he's out there in 20 minutes, I'm gonna go knock on his door. So John also says, oh yeah, and Bob's van, like the minivan, the door is wide open. And I was like, that's really weird. So the dog's outside whimpering, the door to the van is open. So we were like, oh, hopefully nothing happened. We were like a little weirded out, like maybe something happened. Maybe they were in a rush or something. After 20 minutes, the dog's still outside. And so I'm like, I gotta say something. I can't just like ignore that this dog is outside. And so I go over and we knock on the door, and there's Bob in his underwear. And we're like, oh, your door to the van is open and your dog is outside. And he like had no idea what we were talking about. He had no idea his dog was outside. He asked us then, he goes, okay, did you shut the door? No, Bob, we didn't shut the door. We're not going to be crawling around in your minivan when especially we don't really get along. Like, no thank you. You can shut your own minivan door. Like, it's just kind of weird. Like, what if he saw us in his van, like trying to close the door? Like, no thanks, I'm good. So we were like, oh no, we didn't close it. Like, we don't know how, and that's not our problem. We were just letting you know. And then the wife comes to the door and she's like, oh my God, the dog's outside. And he's like, yeah. And she goes, oh my God, I think he's been outside since we left 4 hours ago. 4 hours ago. And we were just like, all right, have a good night. And we like walked back, and I was just kind of pissed because I'm like, your dog has been roaming around outside, and it was not warm out. Like, it was probably like, well, it wasn't like freezing. It's not like that in Florida, but it wasn't like warm. It was probably like 50s, 60s at night at this time. And I'm just like, dude, that's fucked up. Like, you don't just leave your dog outside to roam around the street, like on a busy street at night. And it's not right. And that's just like how they live their lives. They don't really seem to care a lot about other people or other things. And it just made me sad. Like, I don't know. I just think it's kind of fucked up. But maybe it was just an accident. I don't know. But it was just one of those things that I was just kind of like, really? You're not even going to be like, oh my God, to the dog. Like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, they didn't even seem to care. They were like, oh shit, he's been outside for 4 hours. It's like, oh shit, yeah, that's fucked up. Like, if my dog was missing for 4 hours, I would fucking definitely not let that happen, first of all. And second of all, I would know, like, pretty much immediately that he was gone. But yeah, I don't know. They're just very, like, strange people. So that was kind of just the neighbor update that I had. And the other news that I have, drum roll please, is that John and I are purchasing a house. And it is friggin' stressful. I don't know if any of you, probably some of you who are watching this, own a house. And I don't know if any of you have had to do it alone. But basically, I am buying a house. Not to air our dirty laundry or anything, but my credit is like a 758 and John's is like not. It's in the 6s. It's like a high 6. So what we're doing, I think, is best, where I would apply, and we're gonna go for this special program so that, I don't know, it's just very confusing. It's very difficult. I'm so stressed out because the loan is going to be entirely in my name. But you know, what everyone's always told me is that you want to invest in property. And I feel like if, you know, if shit hits the fan later on in life, I could always sell the house or rent it. But I mean, it's so stressful for me, and I'm someone who has a lot of anxiety. So when it comes to purchasing a house by myself, like, I get really scared because it's such a commitment financially, and everything can change. I think that's what freaks me out, is like there's no set life plan, and like finances can change, relationships can change, horrible, like, natural disasters can happen, and it just really freaks me out. But me being 28, I feel like it's the time to buy. And I feel like I'm just so sick of throwing my money away with renting, and after living in a house, I know that this is what I love, and it really is so much more comfortable. If I was alone, I wouldn't really mind living in an apartment, but it's just sucks because, like, I've probably already spent 30 grand at least just in renting, and I don't want to do that anymore. And so we're looking for a house. It's such a hard process. Like, I don't know if anyone, I'm sure people can relate to this, but yeah, I am buying a house pretty much with the loan is going to be in my name. So I'm buying a house and we're both going to be paying for it, but it's just kind of complicated. That it's just easier this way, so we get a better financing deal. But yeah, it's so exciting, but also very scary. And if you can relate to the house buying process and how, like, scary it is, let me know. I mean, I feel like I'm taking on this huge thing that needs to happen, but it definitely is intimidating. But I will just love having a piece of property down in Florida near the water. Like, that's such a dream. So I'm really excited that this year it's gonna happen, and I just hope everything works out. And yeah, so I'm excited. I already got pre-qualified, and things will be changing. We are moving out in May, so hopefully everything will go smoothly and we'll be in a house. We might have to extend our lease. I don't know. It's just gonna be where life takes us. So I'm going to try to upload once a week. Obviously things are a little hectic right now, so if I do leave you hanging for a little bit more than that, that's the reason. It's just a lot going on right now. I work a full-time job and I also do YouTube, so I'm going to try my best to upload once a week, but definitely try to have a little patience if I can't do it every week. But yeah, I'm so excited. I hope you guys are excited to watch our little journey into buying a house, and I'm so excited to show you guys, like, where we end up. I know we want to stay kind of where we are now because it's just absolutely beautiful, but yeah, so that's the exciting news and the neighbor update you guys have been waiting for. Oh, I almost forgot, I'm going to be making a video about how I pretty much got up and moved from Massachusetts to Florida, how I did it, and how hard or easy it was. I'm going to be making a full video on that soon, so so you guys can see that too. But yeah, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to like boost my Instagram followers because I really don't have a lot. So if you can go follow me on Insta, I'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.